All right, so what's up? We are back, Bluecrew. Yeah, it's expected. We're back at the house. We got a crappy internet connection, but we're back for part two. So let's do a really quick catch me up, and then we'll continue on with the stream. Appreciate your support as always, you guys. You guys are amazing. Shout out to the Bluecrew. So just really quick, let's get into this. Let me know how the sound levels are, by the way, and everything. So, um, Hyperledger Global Forum is happening on June 8th through the 10th, 2021 virtual experience, just after the Green Swan Conference from the BIS, the Bank for International Settlements. So looking forward to this event. You can tell they're definitely having a heavy focus on green, finance, sustainability, definitely in the cards right there. And then, of course, bull market may be coming soon for gold. Definitely keeping our eyes on the precious metals market. And we continue forth. Appreciate the Bluecrew, guys. It is what it is. I'm just gonna keep moving forward. We got a lot of news to cover, so we're definitely gonna keep going. No crypto and beer today. No crypto. It's just a standard late night DLT. Van Life Biker. What's up, man? How you doing? So guys, so we have the Web Payment Security Interest Group. I just figured I'd show you guys this very quick because Interledger Protocol is one of the biggest members, or one of the biggest reasons that this Web Payment Security Interest Group even exists, right? So let's just check out who is part of this Web Payments Security Group, right? I'm not digging the music too much. It's a little too dark, but there we go. This might be good. What's up, Mr. A, fishing and lurking? Okay, Van Light Bikers. Okay, I'll have a shot then. Used to create and launch SafeMoon and Elongate. Nice, man. Oh, Thea D. Oh, okay, now I see more there. Nice. Thanks for bringing that to the awareness of the Bluecrew. So, you have Atna, Airbnb, Alibaba, American Express, Bank of America, Brave Software, Coil Technologies, Capital One, Discover Financial Services, Global Payments, Google, Hedera, freaking Hashgraph right there, Huawei, ISO 20022 Registration Authority, Lenovo, MasterCard, Microsoft, Netflix, PayPal, Ping Identity, Ripple, Reach, Shopify, SK Telecom, Stripe, Strong Auth, Thales Group, The Clearinghouse, UnionPay, Verizon, Visa, WorldPay, just to name a few, right? So these are all heavily intertwined and involved with ILP because this is the reason the Web Payment Security Interest Group even exists. It's because of ILP and Interledger Protocol. So we move forward to what is ISO 20022, right? We've already talked at length many times about ISO 20022, so I just want to kind of get to Interledger Protocol's role and how I do believe Interledger Protocol is actually just being called ISO 20022 just so there's like it's harder to even make connections to XRP, for example, right? I think the ISO 20022 payment standard, the messaging standard of the ISO 20022, I believe is the Interledger Protocol standard. Bones TEP, you're the man, my dude. He's got his infinite shades on because the future is infinitely bright. Thank you so much, Bones TEP, for your $10 donation, man. Definitely keeps us doing what we're doing here, and you're amazing, dude. Guys, thanks for the 5 likes, the 13 viewers on the second stream up. Hopefully the internet doesn't cut out, and if it does, man, it's just going to be pretty lame because I definitely want to keep sharing some good info with you guys here. Alex D Vlogs, what's up, dude? It's all cool, man. Damn the internet, but you know what? We got good things happening tonight, right? It's happening tonight, Alex D Vlogs, that's for sure. Van Life Biker, shop for G, shop for you, my man. Appreciate you, dude. ISO 20022 makes XRP the coin. And once again, I was saying this in the last video, I do like other ISO 20022 compliant coins like LTO, XDC, XLM, HBAR, Algo, Quant, you name it, that's anything that's ISO 20022 compliant or seems like it is. I hopefully do hold that, basically. I'm a really big fan of things that are connected to the ISO 20022 standard, and for that matter, Interledger Protocol as well. So we have a PDF here from the Ultimate Guide to the ISO 20022 Migration by Deutsche Bank, written, I believe, in, let me see what date it was here that it was written. I can't say I'm getting a date here, but so underpinning each of these modernization programs, you have the you have the clearinghouse, you have the Euro system, you have the EBA clearing, and Bank of England's RTGS. Are harmonizing and modernizing their high-value payment systems almost simultaneously. Underpinning each of those modernization programs is the migration to ISO 20022, widely recognized as the standard for the future. Indeed, ISO 20022 has already been introduced for HVPS in Japan, Switzerland, and China. So this is big, right? Those are three major players already, especially China, right? And is established as the de facto standard in instant payments market following implementations in Australia, US, Canada, and Singapore. SWIFT will also introduce ISO 20022 for cross-border payments with a view to phasing out existing payment messages. The migration to ISO 20022 lays the foundation for vastly improved payment processes, efficiency, and interoperability among high-value payment systems. It benefits are numerous for a customer experience and compliance perspective, as well as providing the capabilities to deliver new services. So moving forward, we have, while ISO 20022 migration may at first appear to be technical and abstract, it will have far-reaching implications for banks' payment systems and processes. So that's a really big key right there. Banks' payment systems and processes. So that's one of the keywords we want to be focusing on. We're going to have actually a few keywords to keep an eye out for, that's for sure. Let me catch up with the chat really quick. Love you guys so much, man. Appreciate the Bluecrew. Thanks for your guys' support. Thanks for the 16 viewers and the 9 likes. What's up? So, of course, this is not the first initiative designed to further improve existing payment systems. We have seen numerous regional initiatives related to bulk payments into introduction of SEPA and diverse instant payment schemes. Banks' payment systems will have to be adapted along with numerous processes. Additionally, during the course of this migration, a number of decisions will have to be made pertaining to the future business models. Schedules will be tight with resources requirements similar to other major projects in recent years. A wait-and-see approach is simply not an option for banks, as they will be completely cut off from international payment systems and access to central banks. Some of the central banks have already begun monitoring migration measures. Many other institutions are in process of preparing schedules, securing resources, and allocating budgets and informing senior management. Yet awareness and understanding about the forthcoming change appears to be relatively weak. In order to best be prepared for the timely and successful migration, we have therefore compiled this paper together with Deutsche Bank in the first series of guides, and we outline the general challenges faced. So more and more looking into what ISO 20022 is, right? What it means for banks, the migrations, the global market infrastructures, the significance of ISO 20022, ISO 20022 migration. So I'll share this link in the chat if you guys want to look further into this, but this is enough for us to move on to our next subject. So the pieces and players of payment standardization. This is an old article by Ripple, March 15, 2016. The bank industry seems intent on standardizing blockchain technology, a move that coordinates with the progress to standardize payment systems more broadly. Tell me about a DLT-focused company in 2016, other than maybe Stellar. I understand Stellar, but remember when Stellar was coming out in around 2016, 2014, their intention wasn't about CBDCs in the beginning. Remember, some people would say XLM is the retail coin, for example, right? So the banking industry seems intent on standardizing blockchain technology, a move that coordinates with the progress to standardize payment systems more broadly. Banks voice concerns about which blockchain in the industry will adopt an effort to not invest too heavily in the wrong system, but that sentiment might be misguided. There's not and won't be a one-size-fits-all approach to the world payment systems. Each bank or group of banks could choose to build on different technology platforms. Plus, some third-party providers will have their own proprietary networks. The best solution is then to standardize at the protocol level so all the diverse systems can interoperate. And general standards lower the barriers to entry, unlocking competition and, in turn, innovation, the level playing field. With standardized processes, even small players can access networks at scale as the costs of development are sharply decreased. This is especially important in payments since historically these systems have been dominated by a handful of large providers. As payments remain a popular function to unbundle, a stack of payment standards are being tested and built, all with unencumbered transaction flows in mind. As payments become more digital while standards work is a slow process, adoption often happens in parallel as participants deploy earlier versions of the standard. What's up, Unnatural Nature? How you doing, man? Here's a wrench. With the wrench comes great responsibility. Please use it wisely. Appreciate you. Oh, snap. Berserker in the house. What's up, man? A tall can for UG. Cheers. Appreciate you, man. Crypto and beers. Hell yeah, Berserker. I'm glad you guys enjoyed those. Definitely look forward to doing more of those with y'all and hanging out with the Bluecrew and having a little beer and stuff like that. Thanks, Berserker, for the $5 donation, man. You rock. So W3C web payments, right? So the World Wide Web Consortium was formed in an effort to develop vendor-neutral standards to allow for open interoperability. The group starts at the bottom, standardizing base layers, then working up from there. Web payment standards are a long time coming. A web payments community group was set up nearly 4 years ago in October 2015 and graduated to a working group of 175 members comprised of large incumbents such as Visa, Europe, Google, and the Fed, as well as smaller startups. The working group's current goal is to develop a browser-based checkout API that makes it easy for developers to integrate payments into the web without paying favorites to certain methods. For instance, the working group doesn't care whether a customer wants to purchase with ACH, a credit card, or Bitcoin, but instead wants all those options to have the same chance of being developed, expanding both consumer and merchant choice. The idea is to streamline the online checkout process, creating a consistent experience. That is a very important word right there, creating a consistent experience that doesn't require the consumer to share the same information over and over again. This should not only reduce shopping cart abandonment, but harmonize the process for desktop and mobile checkout. The working group is taking a baby step, making the payments process less painful for all parties involved. But there's a lot of room in the space for standardization. Standards start simple, but are extensible. So the Web Payments Interest Group at the W3C is in charge of expanding the working group's effort. The interest group takes a broader architectural view, currently considering standardization for verifiable claims and credentials and biometric security on the web, right? So the W3C must keep in mind the standards that are regulatory in nature. For instance, the Payment Services Directive out of the European Union is building new rules for how merchants and banks expose consumer information and what options providers must make available to customers. It's important for W3C groups to have experts from around the world working together on standards to make certain requirements are satisfied or at least not prevented from happening, said McCarran. The Web Payments Working Group also has member representatives that are knowledgeable on ISO 20022, the universal messaging scheme for the financial industry. So what is going to be that universal messaging scheme, right? Several distributed ledger experts have joined the W3C Web Payments Working Group, including representatives working on Ethereum and architects at Ripple. As Ripple engineers refined the company's own product and worked with the W3C on the web payment standard, the Interledger protocol was conceived. Alex D Vlogs, you're the man, dude. Wow. Thanks for the $20 bomb, Alex D Vlogs. Shout out to Alex D Vlogs. Awesome YouTube channel. He's loving his Safe Moon. He's loving his XRP to the moon. You know what's happening tonight, my man. Much love to Alex D Vlogs. Awesome channel out there, man. You rock, dude. Much love to you, dude. Actually, I kind of dug it with the music without the music because we got some important info to be going through. So yeah, continuing on here. So you guys seeing why we went over the W3C or the Web Payment Security Group, right? So as Ripple engineers refined the company's own product and worked with the W3C on the web payment standard, the Interledger protocol. So they just acknowledged Ripple, obviously calling Interledger protocol the web payment standard for the W3C. Blockchains are highly complex systems and involve many difficult engineering trade-offs. As we dove deeper into the use cases, we realized the model of having one giant blockchain that everyone connected to wouldn't work, right? Oh, then it's not going to be the XRP ledger. Well, what if XRP ledger isn't necessarily a blockchain, right? What if it's DLT, distributed ledger technology, that facilitates micropayments and allows for trust to be where usually trust wouldn't exist, right? The universal mode of transacting with ILP. So let's continue on. Consumers demand broader access, increased speed, and lower cost. Micropayments use cases require billions of payments to be processed for minimal fees. Banks need scalability of transaction volume, plus the ability to make some transactions private and denominate fees in their local currencies. And derivatives markets want billions of dollars worth of assets to be exchanged securely. Often these requirements conflict. Every party has different opinions about how blockchain should work and what its design goals. And in the future, excuse me, and in the future where multiple blockchains exist, those platforms should be able to interact with each other and scale quickly. ILP sprung out of Silicon Valley-based startup Ripple's work building a real-time settlement system for financial institutions. At its core, ILP is a way to route and relay transactions between multiple parties, which has historically been a manual, expensive, risky, and downright impossible process. The protocol is taking the same framework used for the communication on the web, so a messaging protocol, right, like the ISO 20022 standard, multiple providers pairing with each other in order to send a message from one person to another and applying that payments. On the web, different protocols and sending packages of data via hops without needing to rely on the ability of the hops. If one hop proves unreliable, the data is merely routed through another path. ILP leverages a database technique called two-phase commit, which acts basically as an escrow transfer where senders and receivers don't necessarily have to trust the intermediaries, right? The fundamental problem ILP solves is being able to connect payment systems together in a way that you don't have to trust the connector. Doesn't this sound very oddly similar to what we were just talking about with ISO 20022, right? And the new standard messaging for all these banks, all these institutions, for all payments, right? So we're designing ILP as a very modular standard. It's a bottom layer where the most technical complexity lies. High-level rules for the specific use cases are then built on top of ILP. Ripple, for instance, will be one of the solutions sitting on top of ILP. The company is creating software and integrates the legacy bank systems with the protocol. These top layers are where regulatory guidelines must be upheld. Thomas compares ILP to TCP, the basic communication protocol of the internet, because ILP doesn't care why two parties are transacting, just that the both parties agree to transact. Layers on top of ILP, such as Ripple, he equates to HTTP, and so on and so forth. Today, only Visa has that global reach, but with a peering network, even the smallest provider can offer universal acceptance. Talking about unlocking tremendous liquidity, right? Some payments providers in the industry are worried about Visa's dominance in the market, Apple, Google, but what's funny is they're all part of that web payments interest group, right? So they're all most likely building on top of the Interledger protocol. We've heard rumors of some of these big names building on top of Interledger protocol, right? And you'll see, later on, I'm going to be mentioning how Interledger protocol won the Bank for International Settlements most recent hackathon as well, the ILP, right? So we have Dilip Rao even in 2018 saying a majority of the W3C, which is like what, 400 plus members. He said a majority of the W3C was implementing ILP in 2018. Just imagine how many more members are part of that Interledger protocol, right? So moving forward, so a lot of different similarities right here. And you have Stefan Thomas, basically him and Ben Sherifin and I think Evan Schwartz, creators of the ILP, the Interledger protocol, right? And remember, these guys were former Bitcoin developers, Bitcoin investors, right? The reason even Bitcoin became popular was because of this video called "What is Bitcoin" by We Use Coins. Got millions and millions of views, started really spurring a lot of talk about Bitcoin, started bringing in more investment about Bitcoin. And Stefan Thomas, former Ripple CTO, now CEO of Coil, creator of the Interledger protocol, was the reason, created this video and is basically the reason Bitcoin even became popular, right? So I think this guy knows how to make, products that can last or draw attention, not just because of him making this video, but why would he be leaving? If he thought Bitcoin was the bee's knees, why isn't he building ILP on top of Bitcoin? Why isn't he building Interledger protocol on top of Bitcoin? Because Bitcoin's a siloed system. It's not a currency agnostic blockchain, right? So you have some more info here on ILP, the abstract, but I just like looking at the differences between atomic and universal mode. The Interledger protocol can be implemented in two modes, atomic mode and universal mode. In atomic mode, notaries are incorporated into the system. They are an ad hoc group that is used to verify and validate transactions. Typically, atomic modes that take place between trusted connector nodes between banks or financial services companies that might relate to each other. So, you had things like with Xcurrent and Ripple. You don't really need to use the digital asset. You just have these transactions happening between trusted parties. But in the universal mode, which is a lot of the transactions that happen over the internet, and a lot of these internet companies are doing, right? Like the Apples, the Googles, the Amazons, and whatnot. The universal mode does not require notaries and can work between untrusted connectors. It uses Ripple's internal currency, XRP, to facilitate transfers. So ILP, as much as you want to say, oh, it's currency agnostic, yeah, in a certain mode. There's different modes to ILP, right? And one of the modes, the universal mode, because they're trying to, once again, what we were reading, right? Consistency, providing consistency for all types of payments that are being made, right? Everybody having a consistent payment experience, right? And how do you enable that consistent payment experience? By agreeing on a certain standard for connections between untrusted parties. And XRP is there to facilitate those transfers. The transfers is accompanied by time constraints, and if it does not take place within a certain time frame, then the transaction is annulled, right? So moving forward, Interledger is not tied to a single company, blockchain, or currency, although it features prominently with the Ripple cryptocurrency. Interledger is an open source protocol suite for sending payments across different ledgers. Based on blockchain technology, the goal is to remove intermediaries to create a secure, decentralized, and cross-border interbank payments network, right? So we got some more coming here. ISO 20022 financial messaging, real-time payments driving growth. And all you see all over this article is settlement, faster settlement, connecting, interoperability, connecting legacy systems, new real-time service providers to better capturing emergent payment markets, right? The financial messaging standard, ISO 20022, comes into play to provide interoperability between legacy payment systems. What allows for interoperability between legacy payment systems that we just said, right? The Interledger protocol. So I'm going to say, like, I'm pretty damn sure they're doing something here to trick us by saying ISO 20022 and not saying Interledger protocol, because maybe that would draw too much fervor to the to XRP. I don't know, too much investment towards XRP. If we learned that ISO 20022 was the Interledger protocol, right? You probably have crypto Twitter and a bunch more people in the XRP community probably talking about it nonstop, right? So maybe that's why they call it the ISO 20022 standard. So you have currently ISO 20022 is used by thousands of financial institutions across the EU for both direct debit and credit card transfer. The next step is to deploy of SEPA credit transfer instant, requiring real-time posting and fast settlement with mechanism to cover intraday settlement risks by banks ACH. The European Payment Council, managing SEPA schemes on behalf of the European Central Bank, which is leading that overall milestones for the Big Bang migration, right? That's happening in November 2022, has published the new rulebook for SEPA instant credit transfer. Let me see. Upgrading SEPA posting and settlement process to move from next day settlement to funds available to beneficiary and confirmation to originator in less than 1 minute. Singapore has been one of the pioneer countries in Asia with the deployment of ISO 20022 in its ACH and RTGS real-time gross settlement system. 17 banks running on it, and it's probably one of the most advanced ACH running live real-time settlement with the ISO 20022 standard. Banks, PSPs, payment service providers, are keen to find a way. By the way, those are Ripple's #1 customers, right? Banks and payment service providers aiming for cross-border payments. Sounds a lot like what ISO 20022 is doing. Am I wrong? And, interestingly enough, XRP's first use case when Ripple, was choosing to use XRP for its payments, cross-border payments, right? And what's Hyperledger Global Forum talking about? What's the Green Swan Finance or Green Swan Conference going to be talking about? Cross-border freaking payments, right? What's up, Miles P? I appreciate you, man. Thanks for the support, my dude. So banks and PSBs are keen to find a way to rationalize their internal and external standards in order to translate ILP, the global translator for payments, between various countries' standards, because ISO 20022 is feature-rich and based on XML, and it can be used for many financial businesses areas: payments, trade finance, securities, foreign exchange, cards, corporate-to-bank messaging, as well as for internal processes such as cash management. ISO 20022's flexibility also sets banks up for new real-time payment infrastructure without the need to implement a new data standard, right? Easier to implement. For corporates, ISO 20022's rich remittance data is a huge benefit. Many legacy data standards only offer tens of characters of data, which can lead to major problems. ISO 20022 has the capability for unlimited remittance data. Add this to the possibility for global interoperability between the growing number of countries adopting the standard, and is no wonder why ISO 20022 has become an increasingly popular messaging standard for real-time payments. The Canadian payments industry impulse has decided to adopt ISO 20022, right? The United States, the move to ISO 20022 has taken its first steps with the development of real-time payments infrastructure, right? Federal Reserve, NACHA, the clearinghouse, all of which Ripple is connected with. And remember, Ripple's part of the ISO 20022 standards body, the only one focused on DLT so far. Of course, there's other cryptos out there that are ISO 20022 compliant. I understand that, guys, but the only one that's part of the standards party is Ripple. In conclusion, the first ISO 20022 standard draft was issued in 2004. It took 10 years to have it widely deployed on an international scale, with 34 countries and thousands of banks using it for cross-border credit transfer. What, insane, man. So it is fair that ISO 20022 is no longer a technical phenomenon, but now a global de facto industry standard, there to stay and grow, right? So moving forward, remember the European Payments Council being mentioned right here, right? For SEPA payments, right? Here we go. Where is it? Give me 1 second. Here we go. So European Payment Council, managing SEPA schemes on behalf of the European Central Bank, right, has published the new rule book for SEPA instant credit card transfer, right? And look who's talking about the European Payments Council. Ripple for interbank payments. What's up, G-Money, dude? Cheers to you, G-Money. Guys, 32 viewers, 29 likes. Appreciate any new subs. You guys are amazing, man. Shout out to the Bluecrew. G-Money, you're amazing, dude. Thanks for the $5 donation, brother. It's fun. What's up, dude? So European Payments Council, Ripple for interbank payments. Ripple Labs published an article with the European Payments Council. So with the European Payments Council that we were just reading about, Ripple Labs published an article with them in, 2015, describing the role of the Ripple protocol for enabling real-time cross-border payments. The EPC is a banking industry association responsible for representing payment service providers and is primarily responsible for governing the single euro payments area, SEPA, which facilitates payments in the EU. As Ripple Labs business development team members Ryan Sagone noted in the piece, in the absence of such global infrastructure, financial institutions rely on intermediaries, typically correspondent banks, to transfer funds across networks and borders. The reliance on the intermediaries is capital intensive and leads to new costs, right? So considering this is a period in which regulation and markets require lower risk, lower costs, and better services, these concerns affect the entire industry. One solution, they argue, is to utilize an open payment protocol that leverages the principles of the decentralized internet by connecting existing networks and making them interoperable. like ISO 20022, like the Interledger protocol. To achieve these end, we created an open internet protocol, a public tool that is free to use that enables payment service providers to make necessary debits and credits to settle a payment rather than rely on intermediary essential counterparty. A payment service provider can use Ripple to securely and efficiently transact directly with PSP's ledgers. Furthermore, this service does not rely on Ripple Labs. It is instead operated by participating payment service providers and the third parties they authorize, right? So moving on. Let me catch up before we get into some of this BIS stuff here. Once again with the European Payments Council, right? It's going to come around. You guys will see some of the connections coming in. Yep, we're talking ISO 20022. Tina Hall in the house. What's up, Tina Hall? Good to see you. Appreciate your support as always. Much love to you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope everybody here had an awesome Memorial Day weekend. That's for sure. Guys, 34 strong viewers, 33 strong likes. You guys are awesome, man. So pushing the frontiers of payments towards a global payments area, you have the European Payments Council posting this on the 26th of May in 2021. The Committee on Payments and Market Infrastructures, the global standard setter that aims to enhance the safety and efficiency of payments, clearing, and settlement arrangements, is seeking to improve cross-border payments. I wonder what they can use to improve cross-border payments, right? We interviewed Tara Rice, head of the CPMI Secretariat at the Bank for International Settlements, to shed some light on the objectives, success factors, and the future of this project. The BIS, through the CPMI, is actively working on a global project aiming at enhancing cross-border payments. Can you tell us more about this project, its genesis, and its main objectives? How is it different from past initiatives? The payments landscape has changed dramatically in recent years, and many of us are already benefiting from instant, contactless, and digital payments, right? The single euro payments area, SEPA, is a prominent example of this deployment. However, payments across borders are still largely perceived to be expensive, slow, opaque. I mean, can they take more out of Brad Garlinghouse's like script in terms of that description right there? Slow, expensive, and opaque in particular. To address this shortcomings, the G20 financial ministers and central bank governors at the end of 2019 tasked the Financial Stability Board, working with the CPMI, to deliver a roadmap to enhance cross-border payments. The roadmap was endorsed by G20 at the end of 2020. The roadmap covers both wholesale and retail payments, including remittances, differentiates 19 building blocks in 5 focus areas: public and private sector commitment, regulatory, supervisory oversight, and frameworks. So regulatory frameworks that are needed, existing payment infrastructures and arrangements, data and market practices, new developments such as central bank digital currencies and global stablecoins. What is different from previous initiatives, while efforts focused on certain segments of cross-border payments such as international remittances, the G20 roadmap acknowledges that enhancing cross-border payments for all citizens is complex and multi-dimensional problem, and therefore requires a comprehensive, cross-sectoral, and ambitious approach. Rome isn't built in one day, you guys. So the roadmap sets out concrete actions in each of the 19 building blocks, right? So then we have the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, the Financial Action Task Force, all of them part of it, right? And as you can see here, in March this year, the BIS Innovation Hub in Swift successfully completed a hackathon that highlighted the benefits of messaging standard ISO 20022. And application programming interfaces API, 260 participants across 60 teams spent 7 days applying ISO 20022 and APIs to improve cross-border payments. Early July, we will publish a stock stake, and we definitely know who won, right? So let's move on to who ended up winning that BIS hackathon, right? Oh, right here you have Federal Reserve. Just some fun oldie but goodie here. Talking about Ripple, right? Ryan Zagone being part of the Faster Payments Task Force participants, right? That was just mentioned right here. Other key public sector bodies include the FSB, the Financial Action Payments Task Force, the International Monetary Fund, right? Oh, actually, Faster Payments Task Force and Financial Payments Task Force are different. My bad. But still, Still relevant to this case. Steering committee members denoted. You got Dwala, you got a Ripple, you know, American Express, the Bankers Bank, the Clearinghouse, Nacha, which we've seen here. So then you see the BIS Innovation Hub and Swift announced the winners of the ISO 20022 and API Hackathon, and the winners were chosen by a panel including experts from the Bank of England and the Committee on Payments and the Markets Infrastructure, DBS Bank Singapore, European Central Bank, Federal Reserve System, Innovation Finance, New Payments Platform, Australia, Payments Canada, Swiss, right? So here are your winners. You got Atomic Wire and you got Mojaloop. Mojaloop won for its solution for bridging the last mile. We're going to definitely be paying attention to this last mile statement. Bridging the last mile, bringing cross-border payments to users in emerging market economies who rely on mobile money transfer systems. Right? The hackathon highlighted the benefits of ISO 20022, which is being adopted by large parts of the world's payment infrastructures over the next 4 years. So over the next 4 years, that's leading up to what, 2025? Teams could adapt an existing product to make use of ISO 20022 or build and demonstrate new solutions leveraging the standard and APIs using Swift. The ISO 20022 standard for payment messages is being adopted in some of the biggest global and domestic payment systems, and so we're delighted that 60 teams from across payments and technology came forward. So Mojaloop beat out 57 other teams. Swift is pleased to have collaborated with the BIS Innovation Hub to bring together teams from across financial world to devise creative new payments solutions using the ISO 20022 standard. Right? So we move forward talking about, Mojaloop winning. Mojaloop won for its solution for bridging the last mile once again, right? Cross-border payments, right? Showcasing the solution for cross-border payments. Payment users in emerging market economies who rely on mobile money and transfer systems. So it's not just about moving from country A to country B, but to make payments safe, efficient, and compliant with regulations. Data about the payment must be transferred as well. A number of checks and processes need to happen either before the payment is made, while it's moving through the financial system, or after the payment is received. The Committee on Payments and Market Infrastructures, CPMI, highlights how processes can add cost, friction, and delays to cross-border payments. So notably, Swift's Global Payment Initiative, GPI, has taken major steps forward in increasing the speed, transparency, and reach of cross-border payments since its launch in 2016. It's time to get ready for ISO 20022 messages. By 2025, Swift's global cross-border payments community will fully transition to ISO 20022 as part of an enhanced Swift platform. The Eurosystem's Target 2 system already uses ISO 20022 for high-value payments, and another 14 high-value payment systems which will switch to ISO 20022 in the next 4 years. Bank of England's new RTGS service will use ISO 20022. By 2025, more than 90% of high-value payments systems value worldwide will move on the ISO 20022 standard. And even SEPA is ready to be used in retail payments and Australia's new payments platform, right? So how can ISO 20022 help improve cross-border payments? ISO 20022 is the de facto common messaging standard for the financial industry, allowing payment systems to share data, particularly across borders, without loss or corruption of the payment information, right? So then we go on to Modusbox, one of the people who's involved with Mojaloop, right? Mojaloop team wins ISO 20022 hackathon. One of the winners of it was Mojaloop. As developers or co-developers of Mojaloop and sponsoring members of the Mojaloop Foundation, our goal was to represent this technology in our solution. We partnered with the foundation to create Team Mojaloop alongside Coil, a fellow sponsoring member, and Crosslake Technologies. Our solution demonstrated how a small community bank customer in rural Indiana, USA, could send funds to family member who uses mobile money wallet in Rwanda, Africa, In this fictional scenario, the Rwandan mobile money wallet is part of the Mojaloop-based interoperable payments hub. The Mojaloop hub handles the last mile delivery of funds quickly and securely, while the global reach of the SWIFT network enables traditional financial institutions around the world to initiate the transfers. The team utilized the SWIFT protocol and the network for the cross-border transaction, and of course the ISO 20022 standard for the messaging format. The solution combined ISO 20022 message content with the reliable transfer orchestration of the Mojaloop network to deliver straight through processing worldwide, right? So then we have the announcements, of course, yep, right here, bridging the last mile. Just want to get that through. Last mile, right? Remember last mile, right? So then we have Ripple posting in this PDF, you guys. And let me see what year this was when it was posted, if I can even find the year that it was posted in. Oh yeah, not to mention all the countries involved. 2020, right? So 2021 was the year that they won. Guys, 36 likes, 35 strong viewers. What's up, y'all? Hope you guys are able to keep up and understand a little bit here, and hopefully this is informative for y'all. The last mile in payments, similar to supply chain management and transportation logistics, the last mile in global payments refers to the movement of value from a financial institution to the final delivery destination, the end recipient. This last leg of the payments journey is plagued with inconsistencies due to the part of differing policies and infrastructure, hence having a global regulatory framework. And remember, XRP is considered a digital currency everywhere in the world except for the United States currently. So once you have the United States playing ball and jumping in, you have a global regulatory framework on XRP. Just want to make that known. In an attempt to create more cross-border interoperability between the different local payment networks, industry players are building new capabilities atop a messy web of legacy systems. Until the base infrastructure is improved, performances will always be limited. Hence why ILP needs to be implemented at the protocol level as that base layer of the internet, right? Traditional messaging networks have several serious drawbacks that result in slow settlement times and zero visibility into the payment process. Blockchain-enabled technology is overcoming these limitations of these legacy systems. So you have India's demand for real-time solutions, right? You got a global view here of opportunities in the last mile, basically everywhere in the globe, right? So many payments partners, right? Banks and payment providers can leverage the digital asset XRP through our on-demand liquidity service to further reduce costs and access new markets, right? And let me see where Interledger protocol is mentioned here. If it is, I think it's in this one. Yeah, access SEPA instant payments for real-time settlements as well. So it's not in this one, but you also have Mojaloop releasing this thing called Mawali, right? Mawali's announced entrance into many ways also represents a validation of FFS Africa's goal. So they're connected to major players in Africa. MTM and Orange announced their interoperability project in West Africa called Mawali. It's built on top of Mojaloop as well. So saying there's no presence with XRP in Africa, that's just a straight up lie, right? Mawali was built using Mojaloop, building off the Swahili word moha, which means one, created by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation in partnerships with fintechs, including Ripple, Dwala, Modusbox, Crosslake Technologies, and Software Group. Mojaloop uses technology such as the Interledger protocol, right? A solution for settlement funds among multiple providers across their individual systems. Interoperability between these legacy systems, interoperability between blockchain and legacy systems, right? And Mojaloop won this freaking Bank for International Settlements ISO 20022 freaking hackathon in 2021, y'all. right? Protocol, I think, is very freaking similar to what they're talking about with ISO 20022 standard. So Mojaloop and Mowali are likely to have an impact beyond Africa. Africa is acting like a cradle for the next generation of services. We will see innovation leapfrogging. If you look further into the future, African mobile money services could serve as a model for micropayments. The internet today is advertising powered because there's no way to make micropayments. Now imagine a payment platform that can accept massive micropayments and allow you to pay for news, articles, and many other things. There's no way to play for today. There's nowhere except in Africa where you can do that efficiently, right? And so what else is Mojaloop, right? Let's check it out. Not only Ripple, right? You got Coil being involved as well. If it lets me load it up here. Probably not. I don't know. There we go. Coil. Doesn't Coil allow for micro freaking payments? Crypto refrigeration mining, dude. Thanks for the $20 donation, bro. Appreciate you, man. Let me check out your question here. If Bitcoin was first gen blockchain, Ethereum was second gen with smart contracts, and now proof of coverage, other means of finishing block in the chain per algo is third gen blockchain technology. Are crypto CCs fourth? No, right. What do you mean by CCs? Are crypto... What do you mean by CCs, man? And remember, the second one that was created wasn't Ethereum. The second crypto that was created before Ethereum was XRP, right? And XRP was currency agnostic. And even they, when they were creating the XRP ledger and thinking about what to do with it, they decided to focus on payments itself. They thought maybe we can input, they thought about smart contracts with the XRPL, but they realized if you don't master payments first, you're going to have a hard time building on top of this platform anything else, right? And now you see Flare networks where we're at, where smart contracts are going to be using the XRPL, right? Trying to build it right. All right, so let me find my step back here. Okay. Let me see where... Okay, yeah, so more about Mowali here. Unlocking mobile money interoperability and merchant payments across Africa through Mowali. Orange Group and MTN Group, two of Africa's largest mobile operators and mobile money providers, have today announced a joint venture, Mowali, to enable interoperable payments across African continent. So already, two of the largest mobile operators in Africa and mobile money providers using Mojaloop. It'll be available to any mobile money provider in Africa. Banks, money transfer operators, and other financial service providers are also encouraged to join the Mowali ecosystem to promote the digitization of payments across the financial services sector, right? Here's Mowali transforming the financial landscape, taking mobile money to the next level. We build bridges between financial service providers and create a world without borders. Using Mojaloop, using the Interledger protocol, using the ISO 20022 standard. This is why ISO 20022 standard is so damn important in terms of the timeline of crypto freaking maturity, right? By providing full interoperability between platforms, Mowali will provide an important step forward that will allow mobile money to become a universal means of payment in Africa. It's freaking huge, right? Orange is one of the world's leading telecommunication operators with sales of 41 billion euros in 2017 and 150,000 employees worldwide since 2018. Including 92,000 employees in France. The group has a total customer base of 261 million customers worldwide. Present in 28 countries. Right? MTN Group, launched in 1994, is a leading emerging market operator connecting subscribers in 21 countries in Africa and the Middle East. Right? MTN Group is listed on the JSE Securities Exchange in South Africa. Rwanda, South Africa, Sudan, Swaziland, Uganda, Yemen, right? Iran, Liberia, Nigeria. Mawali links 100 Orange and MTN mobile money accounts across 22 African countries. All over the place, man. IFC, Orange Money partner to advance digital financial services. IFC, a member of the World Bank Group, and Orange Money Madagascar, part of the French telecommunications group Orange, signed an agreement to help the company accelerate the expansion of its mobile money services in Madagascar and increase financial inclusion in the country, particularly among women and those living in rural areas. IFC will work with Orange Money, a mobile money player in Madagascar, to help the company better analyze the behavior of its users and agents. Transforming global remittances with distributed ledger technology and the Interledger protocol, right? Distributed ledger technology is being considered as one possible solution for increasing costs in global remittances, in particular due to the difficulty of opening corresponding bank accounts. DLT's highest impact may be the lower cost and faster transmission of funds. The Open Interledger protocol addresses precisely this requirement with seamless coordination of payments across disparate networks and ledgers. Didn't we just see that with ISO 20022 across payments and across disparate networks and ledgers? A W3C Internet Community Group now governs the development of this new global standard with a mission to create Internet of value, a world where value is exchanged as quickly and simply as information today. Leveraging the power of ILP, Mojaloop offers a way for financial providers, governments, and mobile network providers, operators to simplify and reduce the cost of deploying inclusive payment platforms. ILP is also the underpinning for commercial enterprise solutions being used by banks like Santander to offer new global remittances, right? And if you see here, once again, all of this stuff, you guys, all of this stuff we have read is not from some crypto YouTuber. It's not from, crypto Twitter. This post right here that we're about to see, even here, is from NTT data company called Everest. There's a lot of BS out there about Ripple and XRP, but the fact of the matter is ILP will be the standard protocol for all asset exchange networks. And if you look closely, the link is on this Twitter post if you want to look at their whole slide presentation, and Ripple and ILP are all over it, right? And remember, Ripple and NTT data collaborated in creating Hyperledger Quilt as well. But you have their whole timeline. Bitcoin invented versus blockchain. 2012, Ripple is born, first currency agnostic blockchain. R3 Consortium is born in 2014. ILP is invented. Ethereum is born in 2015. Hyperledger is created in 2015. SBI Ripple Asia is born, first DLT banking network using Ripple global payment settlement, right, in 2016. And then going from 20 to 2025, Ripple becomes the standard for international money transfers between banks. ILP becomes the standard cash ledgers as part of Ripple, and distributed ledger solutions mature, and all asset exchange networks become interoperable with IL-P, right? Blockchain solutions for capital markets and trade finance, emerging R3 Corda. So shout out to XDC community out there. But ILP Java becomes the interoperability standard for Hyperledger Foundation projects. So the interoperability standard is the ILP Java on Hyperledger Foundation projects. And then once again, 2025 and beyond, all asset exchange networks become interoperable with ILP. The internet value will make money, will make for money and other forms of value what the internet did for information using Ripple script, man. To a T, Everest, an NTT data company. This isn't some crypto Twitter person. This isn't some YouTuber talking about it. Everest. send money back and forth went down for several hours, and this is the new this is the modern day payment system that we're dealing with, right? So then let me see if yeah, Ripple can connect the last mile in tandem with CBDCs. Ashish Burla talking about that recently, right? So last mile being referenced by Bank for International Settlements right there, and you're seeing it right there with Ripple. ISO 20022 implementation practices, right? Did I tune out, guys? Did I tune out on? I guess I did. I guess I cut out, unfortunately. Expert insights on how banks can achieve the last mile in global real-time and cross-border payments, right? ISO 20022 real-time 24/7 availability and integration with various back-office systems using APIs like Interledger freaking protocol, right? Charge for an API using Interledger, right? ILP is a subledger for each transacting bank's general ledger. The component of Xcurrent is utilized to track the credits, debits, and liquidity across the transacting parties. ILP ledger enables transacting parties to settle funds atomically, which means entire transaction settles instantly or not at all. 24/7 ILP ledger is designed to provide transacting banks with 24/7 on-demand liquidity. What did we just see about ISO 20022 standard right there previously, right? ISO 20022 real-time 24/7 availability and integration with various back-office systems using APIs. I mean, guys, I don't think I need to say more. The ISO 20022 standard, I think they just named it something differently because they don't want us to know that it's Interledger protocol. They don't want us to know that it's Ripple. They don't want us to know that it's XRP. They want us to jump through all these freaking hoops. The Interledger freaking protocol, Mojaloop, Ripple, Coil, the whole gambit, man. They're setting up one hell of an ecosystem for XRPL to be the major payment rail, especially between untrusted parties. It's going to be an amazing time in this future, without a doubt, and the future is certainly bright for XRP and Interledger protocol. The most recent winner of the BIS and Swift International hackathon that they had. So, guys, I have no doubt that ILP is a real boat. I have no doubt that XRP is a real boat. And I just want to say thank you for all of y'all tuning in. Looks like we're starting to cut out, unfortunately, man. But Miles P, man, thank you for the $10 donation. I appreciate you guys so much. It looks like I'm just buffering like crazy, unfortunately. Those NTT data videos about the future help me shape my portfolio. Yeah, dude, those short films are hilarious, man. Definitely can give you some good insight. They want us out. The Army knows ISO 20022 is all the money. Berserker, you're totally right about that. But anyways, guys, man, just want to say thank you so much for tuning in, Bluecrew. We're going to be tuning out. I don't know what's going on. I guess we're getting some major buffering issues, and so be it. But see, community, over Target G, light them up. Hell yeah, man, you're the man, dude. Thank you, BTC community, XRLT community, crypto community, and all the communities out there. The future is ISO 20022 standard, ILP, Interledger protocol, Mojaloop, Ripple, Coil. The future is distributed ledger technology, and the future is bright. Our future is bright. Much love, Bluecrew. Much love for all the donations. You guys are really helping out the channel a lot, and always great hanging out with the Bluecrew. I'll see you guys in the next one. Much love. Adios. There we go. See you guys soon.